Hello guys, my name is Dr. Varun and I welcome you on the chlorophyll classes. That is the first video of the whole year 20 for the NEET 2026. In today's video, we're going to be starting with chapter number 1 of 11th class. So it is for the 11th class student as well as it goes for the dropper students also. Starting with the basics, that is the first unit of your biology chapter of this journey, and the unit is diversity in living organisms. What diversity in living organisms basically talking you about? It's basically talking about different types of organisms present on this planet Earth before actually driving into more into the humans. Okay, so this is what our major concept in the whole unit. In the first chapter is the living world. The living world. Basically, this chapter talks about the basic understanding of what your biodiversity means. This chapter will be linked with the last chapter of your 12th class also. So means from where we have started, we will end up and conclude this journey there. So this is biodiversity, talking about that thing. Starting with the very first topic about the living world. Living. Okay, what does something is said to be a living? Okay, so the first question or the first topic is, what is living? And when I ask you that what is living, multiple things might have come into your mind. What could be the multiple things? There could be things like, for example, a living person grow. So for example, if we are increasing our height, that is what? It is a living. A living person need food to eat, and means it requires nutrition. A living thing reproduce. Okay, that is also one of the things. So these things come into mind to sell that, okay, this is a living, okay, or something is living. Means in short, if I have to tone it down that the thing is living or not living, there might be certain characteristics. So what are the characteristics of the living organism? So these are the basic characteristics we will be talking about. So what are they? We will be talking about the growth, because living organism grow. After growth, we would be looking about that if they are growing, then what is the basic structure of an organism? So that is what? Structural organization. Structural organization. Then, okay, next further we are moving forward. We know that they require, in our body certain reactions are going on. We call it what? Metabolism. Means when we eat the food is digested, it gives us the energy and we are doing all the work. So that is what? Metabolism. So that is also one of the thing. Then next to it, it's what? It's a reproduction. That of course organisms reproduce and tell that, okay, they are forming a new organisms and continuing the species survivability. Okay, after reproduction, we have what? We have consciousness. Once we have the consciousness, the next thing or further more things that could come is like the maintenance of the temperature, means hemostats, and all of these thermoregulation and all of these things is also the factors. But these 5 we're gonna be studying more in details, starting with the first one, that is growth. Now what could be the growth? Growth could be in the terms of increase in the number or increase in the size or increase in the mass. Okay, so what it could be? Either there could be increase in mass, which is what? Increase in the size, or it could be increase in number. Means nahi, means हाँ मम्मी. Then what will happen? That increase in mass or the size. For example, this thing should be shown, is it being shown by only the organisms, means only the living entity, or the non-living entity also? Means here we are talking about that how could something will increase in mass or decrease in the mass. For example, if I take it like this pencil, okay, from this pencil, if I take out the inside refill of it, means its mass will decrease. Can I call that it is living? Because it is increase or decrease in the mass is being done. Or maybe if I add a covering around itself, the mass will increase. Can we say that it's living? we can't say that it's living, right? So means increase in the mass can't be always a right factor to justify that something is living or not. It has to be something more than that. Okay, let's see with the help of a number also. So number means, for example, if there is a one cell over here and after a certain period of time my skin is replenishing itself, so what will happen? My skin cells number will keep on increasing. Means one cell will make two cells, two will make the four cells, this thing will be done. So that is what increase in the number. So increase in number, understood. But if we are taking from one cell point of view that increase in number, then it looks like reproduction also. Of course, means there are certain things we have to remember. So certain point is what? The first point we discussed, that whether the increase in the mass is factor or not. Well, increase in mass or weight or size is shown by non-living things also. Example, for example, have you seen the sand dunes? What are the sand dunes? That there are sand hills that is being formed. When the air is blowing, sand is also blowing, and the size of the sand is keep on increasing. So sand dunes are one such examples. So their height of the sand dunes keep on fluctuating. Same is for the snow-capped mountains. When I'm saying the snow-capped mountains, it means what? That this is the mountain, it has snow. If the snow will go, it's the summer time and snow will melt it down, what will happen? The size of the mountain will reduce. But when there is again winter, snowfall will occur, again the size will increase. So this is what it is, the example of what? There is a non-living entity like hills, mountains, sand dunes, which are showing what? Characteristics of increase in the size. We can't say that the growth with these terms will be a defining feature. Means what? These factors, characteristics which I'm taking for these 5 characters, whether they are defining property or not. Here we come to know that it can't be a defining property. So growth is not a defining property. As non-living things, examples has been given to you. Non-living things also show growth. Moving on, one more thing that we have discussed over there, that is that growth in unicellular or at cellular level is increase in cell number plus justify reproduction and cell division. Means here the growth for a cell level, at a single cell level or unicellular organisms, it has what? It is showing cell division also, it is showing reproduction also, and it is showing growth also. So here at this time you can't distinguish for the cellular level that whether it is a growth or it is a reproduction or it is a cell division. I hope the growth is understood. Now the growth for the factors, like how can we say that okay, this growth, if this is the part, is the defining feature or not the defining feature, because that is the most important thing. So we are dividing into growth as 2 different things. One is internal growth, another is the external growth. Okay, so what is internal growth? Internal growth is that which is occurring within the cell, means cell is increasing its size. Okay, how? By increasing the water content into it, like watermelon cells increase its size. Okay, so same thing also, what? That if growth occurs within the cell or means inside, we call it internal growth. Means for example, size of a cell increases, okay, by accumulating water. Whereas external growth means what? If growth occurs externally, like snowfall on mountain, will increase mountain size / matter externally. Now here the first one, the internal one, if the growth is internal, we call it what? We call it that this is the real growth we are talking about, which represent what? Your defining property. So this is the real growth and this is the defining property. So if someone will ask you the question that internal growth is what? Internal growth is the part of like internal growth is taking place, okay, then it is a defining property. But external growth is taking place means it is not a defining property. So this growth which is occurring over here, it is what? It is apparent growth. Means it look like growth, but it's not a true growth, because when the ice will melt down, the size or the mass of the mountain again reduces, okay. So this is the apparent growth, and this apparent growth is what? Is not a defining property. So this is not a defining property. This is all about the growth things which you have to remember, which other teachers are not telling you on their platforms, YouTube like platform, but these things are important for you, okay. Moving on to the next characteristic. So after growth, what could be our next characteristic? That is structural organization, okay. So in structural organization, what would be the thing? Second factor is structural organization. In structural organization case, what is happening, that it is telling you that, or asking you about that, whether every organisms which is present, living organism, has a similar kind of structural behavior. Yes, structure means, for example, if you see me, I have, like, all the humans has what? Head, thorax, abdomen and the limbs, right? This is the basic structure of human. If I go to the lowest of my structure, of course my structure doesn't match with the cat or the tree or the bacteria, but what matches, that my single cell is made up of, like, my single body parts are made up of what? Singlest unit, cell. And cell is the basic structural unit. Means all the organisms, all the living organisms have cellular structure. And when I'm saying that everyone have the cellular structure, it means what? I'm not telling you about that the different types of cells, but the basic structure of cell. Means cell will have what? Cell will have a outer delimiting plasma membrane. Extra things can be present like cell wall and other things, but the plasma membrane made up of phospholipids will be there. Inside it, cytoplasm will be there. Inside it, nucleus will be there. Different organelles will be there, which will be doing what? Which will be making the cells to sustain. This thing is not there in any of the non-living organisms, that they do not have what? A limiting structure, outer body membrane or inside things. Every non-living thing has different compositions, but the cell has a, like, what? Proper compositions. So means this is what? It is a defining property. It is not seen by any other non-living thing. It is seen only and only by the living organisms. So here it comes what? This is what? It is a defining property. Okay, I hope this thing is understood to you. Moving on to the next one. After structural organizations, we come up to the metabolism. Now metabolism is what? Most of the student will say that, sir, I eat so much, but my weight is not increasing. What's the problem? Nothing is the problem, beta. Your metabolism is fast. This is what the usual answers you get. So metabolism means that it is the reactions which are taking place inside our body or any organism body. What are the reactions, sir? So basically, if you're eating food, the food will give us energy. So this whole process of eating food and getting the energy from that food is known as what? Metabolism. For example, we are breathing oxygen going in, coming out, going to the all the cells. This is what a type of a metabolic reactions which are occurring over here. Similarly, there are many other examples where metabolic reactions are taken in our body. In our body, if I'm able to do this because of the metabolic reactions are taking place. Understood? So metabolism is what? These are the reactions present inside our body. In the simplest way, it is what? These are the reactions present or occurring inside a living being. Okay, one thing. Now, the metabolism is defining property or not a defining property? It is a defining property. Means it is a defining property means these reactions will occur only and deficiency, what I am writing, defining property. Okay. Now coming back, if it is a defining property means no living or non-living organism is showcasing it. That's true over here. Now if someone will ask like what are the metabolism reactions taking place in the body? So there are two different type of metabolic reactions taking place in the body. What are they? One is the anabolism or anabolic reactions, or another is the catabolism or catabolic reactions. Okay. Now, what is anabolism? Anabolism means synthesis, means reactions which synthesize new products. Okay, chemical products like means when like in 10th class you might have studied now in the chemical reaction that H2O2 joins together and form H2O. Same thing. So anabolic reactions inside our body also occurring. One common example that you have to remember where they are making something from the basic thing, because H2O2 is what? Basic molecules, right? They are making what? A complex or the compound H2O. Okay, so not a complex, just a compound. Okay, so same thing with the anabolism. Example in the living system is what? That you also remember, that is photosynthetic reactions. That is what? Example is photosynthetic reaction. In photosynthetic reaction, what used to happen? You have your carbon dioxide. With this, you have your water, and that has been like under the chlorophyll. Inside chlorophyll molecule will work, sunlight will work, and they will make it what? Glucose. That is C6H12O6 plus release of oxygen plus release of water. I am not giving it like proper what is it, but this is how it is. Okay, so when you are writing these equations, always try to write its name. Carbon dioxide like this, water like this, glucose, oxygen and water. In bio, if you don't did the will not do the balancing, then also okay, but in chemistry you have to do the balancing also. Okay, coming back, this is what in this reaction basic component like water and carbon dioxide making a bigger compound, okay, complex compound glucose. Okay, so this is what? A synthesized reaction where the synthesis is taking place, anabolic reactions which is taking place inside our body. In our body there are different synthetic reactions taking place, anabolic reactions. We are not learning it over here. We will just remember that what are the things present. Okay, just a broader version. This is one of the example, anabolic reaction. What about the catabolic reactions? Catabolic means opposite of anabolism. That is what? This is a breakdown reaction. So breakdown reactions are known as what? Catabolism or catabolic reactions. Example of breakdown reaction means during the respiration. During respiration, what happened, beta? During respiration, there will be breakdown of the glucose in your body, and it will give what? Energy to the body cells. So what will that is cellular respiration thing, which is what? Your glucose is broken down into carbon dioxide, water plus ATP. So this energy is released in this case. Energy is released. Whereas in this reaction, energy is required. Energy is required. This is very important. They can ask you. Means when the energy is required, it is called as what? Endothermic or exothermic? Endothermic. Okay. So this is what it is. A anabolic reactions are endothermic reactions. Whereas catabolism is what? It is your exothermic reactions. Very important. These things you have to remember. Now the next thing is that, okay, all the reactions which are taking place inside our body, we call it what? We call it metabolisms. Now, if we take out the chemicals from outside, will it do the reactions outside also? Outside the body? Yes, it will do. But can we call it also the living reactions? The system is living? No. Because they are taking place in the laboratory. Okay, normally they won't do it. We are making it do it because we are giving all the things. Okay, all the enzymes, all the things which is needed for that reactions to occur. So it is what? It is a in vitro reactions. Remember in vitro fertilization you might have studied. Okay, same here. It is what? In vitro reactions. So these are what? Like in vitro reactions. What are in vitro reaction? In vitro reactions are reactions that are taken place outside the living body or system, under, of course, under the laboratory condition. Means they are not truly living reactions. Not truly living reactions. Means the reactions which are taking place in our body, can we call it what? In vivo reactions. So in vivo reactions are what? These are the reactions which are occurring inside our body. Inside our body, or our body means inside our living body. Okay, so these will be what? In vitro reaction, or sorry, in vivo reactions. And in vivo reactions are what? They are the defining properties. In vitro reactions are just we are doing and compelling it to do it in the laboratory kind of conditions. This is all about the metabolism. So till now we have seen three, that is growth, which is not a defining feature, but if it is an internal growth, it is a defining feature. Then we go with the structural organization. We said that every organism has that, no living organism has that. So it is what? Defining feature. Then we went to the metabolism. Metabolism is also what? Is seen by all the organisms. No non-living organism is doing it. So it is also a defining feature. After this, we would be going with the next one. That is what? Reproduction. Reproduction. Now what is reproduction? It is what? It is the self-perpetuation of an organism. Self-perpetuation means self-replication, perpetuation, metabolism. Just leave it, not metabolism. Self-perpetuation or replication or division of an organism to form similar looking individuals, young individuals. Okay, sorry, there is a lot of noise outside because there are a lot of kids everywhere and the bikes and all those things. We are working on it. It's just a matter of 1 or 2 more days. After that, it will not be there. Okay, just go through with it. Okay, Meanwhile, we will keeping this every video to be of 1 hour only. If it's taking more than that, we will hop it to the next working day. Although we will try to complete this chapter, almost everything in this. Okay, coming up to the next thing, the reproduction, whether it is a defining feature or not, means it should be seen by all the living organism, and it should be what? Seen by non-living, no non-living organism. Of course, no non-living organisms is showing this concept of reproduction for sure. Okay, what about the living organisms? When we come to the living organisms, we have seen there certain sterile couples are there. You know now, like there are certain couples who are not able to bear baby. Means every living organism is not able to reproduce. Okay, same goes with, there is other examples of animals which are hybrid animals, which we have made it with the reproduction of what? Horse and the donkey. That is called as mule or hinny. They are not also able to reproduce. There are certain species which are doing it naturally also, but they are also not able to reproduce when their offsprings are being. For example, tiger and lion, when they reproduce, they produced the offsprings, a different kind of species, but that species is not capable of reproduction because nature has put a restriction. About speciation concept we will learn in this chapter little later about the species. So this thing is there. Same goes, there are certain worker bees. Remember, there are certain bees which goes to every flower, suck the nectar and give it to the beehive. Those are what? Those are female worker bees. They are also striles. So means reproduction is not seen by every organism which is occurring in this planet, on the planet Earth. Means it is also not what? Not a defining feature. Because to be a defining feature, two conditions should be fulfilled. What are to be the two conditions? The two conditions for a characteristic to be defining are: number one, all the living organisms should show that, and second one, no non-living organisms should exhibit it. Exhibit it means that should have it, should not be showing it in any form. Okay, so in reproduction we realized what? We realized that certain organisms like mule, hinny, tiger, liger, sterile couples, worker bees are not able to produce offsprings. Hence, reproduction is not a defining property. Now, in detail about the reproduction, organisms and all, we will learn throughout our journey. Okay, so this is reproduction. Then comes the consciousness, the last characteristic that we have to study. Consciousness. Consciousness is what? It is the ability to have a self understanding about the environments and the surrounding. So consciousness is what? It is the ability to sense and respond to the external stimulus. Means if there is a higher temperature, we have to do it. Like for example, currently there is no air over here, so what is happening? My body is sweating so that it can maintain its temperature. That is a normal body temperature. I shouldn't be feeling too hot. Okay, so this thing is there, ability to sense and respond to the external environment or stimulus. So this thing should be there. So there should be a sense feature and there should be a respond feature. Okay, so every organism has that. Okay, whether the organism is smaller, it will respond. For example, if you take the bacteria and if you will pinch the bacteria will do like this. Okay, if you do it with the cockroach will also run to save his life. Okay, so this thing will be there. Consciousness. Humans are what? Humans are self-aware. So they are self-consciousness. We are able to sense the environment that okay, something bad gonna happen, I should run. Like for example, if there would be earthquake, you will do what? You will run out of your house so that it should not go down. Whether the dog will do that? No. Whether other organism will do it? No. So self-consciousness is present in the humans. Okay, so this thing is what? It is a defining property. Defining property seen by everyone. But what about the self-consciousness? The self-consciousness is only seen in humans, human beings. Now there might be one question which is very common in the lot of DPPs, that is, what about a person with a brain dead? Okay, what is a brain dead condition means? Brain dead means there is a person who is alive with the support of the all the equipments and all those things, but the person is in coma. But whether he is in the complete coma or incomplete coma, we don't know until the person will wake up, because sometimes it has a consciousness what is going on, coma person. Okay, so this becomes a very tacky thing to remember it, that when we declared someone in coma means it is a brain dead. Maybe he's losing the sense of consciousness, but he still is surviving and responding to the what? Externally applied machines. Means still the consciousness is there. When he will again wake up by the miracles or anything, he or she will have what? He has the idea that okay, this was my previous thing which I was doing before going into coma. Or maybe throughout the coma thing, she or he can hear everything, respond to what people came and talked about. So this is consciousness. Okay, now the next topic goes to the biodiversity. So what is biodiversity? Bio means living and diversity means different types of it. How many different types of organisms present? That is what? Biodiversity that we are talking about. And in this biodiversity, we have to remember certain facts. What are the facts? Number one fact is that in our world, there are estimated to be 1.7 to 1.8 million organisms, living organisms present. And out of which the 0.5, out of this 0.5 millions are plants, and the rest would be what? Your other. Okay, so 0.5 millions are the plants. Now if there's a plants and the other like animals or protozoans or all those things we are talking about, then we have to understand that there might be from the initial days itself there would be a certain person who would be dividing this field, and same goes with the division of the biology also. Since the biology is what? Study of life. Bio means life, logy means study of life. It has further two divisions. What are they? Zoology and the botany. Okay, this chapter is a journalized chapter. Okay, so biology means, bio means life, logy means study, and it has two branches. What are the two branches? Number one is the botany and number two is your zoology or zoology, whatever the people are calling. Now botany means what? It related to the plants. Zoology means it related to the animals. Okay, so that is the major differences. Moving on, then next thing would be what? That who is the father of botany or the zoology? So father of zoology is considered as the name you have to remember, that is, the father of zoology is Aristotle. Okay, about them we will learn. Okay, and your father of botany is your Theopatus. But the modern botany father is the Carl Linnaeus. Okay, and if someone will ask you father of modern botany is whom? It is Carl Linnaeus, who gives certain thing, we will learn it. Okay, so this you have to remember. They have written some books, like the Aristotle has documented lot of animals, same Theopatus and Carl Linnaeus has documented lot of animals in the books. The books names are like Historia Animalia by the zoologist Aristotle. Okay, Journalis Plantis is the book written by the botanist. So these books and the facts are being given here and there. So you have to remember it. It will be available in the notes, but we are not writing it over here. Okay, because we are not going very deep or beyond it. Okay, but those things can also be asked to you. Okay, then comes the next thing. If this much of biodiversity is there, means for example, the name of a plant which is here might not be somewhere else. Like for example, in Tamil, normally we call it rose. Okay, but in English we call it rose. In Tamil we call it gulapo. Okay, in Hindi we call it gulab. Okay, so these are the different names for the one variety only. Means if a Tamil person is talking to me and if say that give me gulapo, I like, what is gulapo? And if I go to a Tamil person and say that give me gulab, okay, then he is not able to understand. This becomes a problem for me, and so we need a common thing or the common way to find a common name, a standardized name of the organism or the plant, or like in this case rose, which will be what? It will be identified and understood by anyone in this world. Okay, so there is a need for what? There is a need for the nomenclature. Nomenclature is what? It is a method of naming. Okay, certain rules of the naming. Okay, so next thing would be what? It is nomenclature. Nomenclature is what? It is a method of giving name to the organism. Now, the next question that could be asked to you in your school examination or can be asked in the assertion, reason or statement based thing. What could be that? That is, why there is need for nomenclature. Let's try to answer. First of all, that vernacular means local names. These names are what? Different from region to region, and to study and to able to recognize the same thing, we need a common name. Okay, since vernacular or local names are not standardized and causes confusion. Okay, next thing is what? In the vernacular names, what happened, beta? That for example, name is given to someone which has nothing to do with the reality. Like there is a one plant whose name was touch me not. What is touch me not? Or there was a certain plant called as day and night flower or plant. What is day and night flower? Okay, there's a moon flower. Okay, there is a this flower, that flower, that names are being given, which is not standardized. Okay, these names does not justify it. Okay, so this thing you have to remember. So next thing is what? Certain names like touch me not plant, or it could be or it could be moon plant, etc., do not have any scientific base. So that is also one of the problem. So these basic, like there are multiple other things also could be there, but this is the one thing. Okay, so two major points, or the major many other points could be there. If you really want to read it, you can read Elementary Truman's by Elementary. So that's a really good book if you want to refer at your level. Okay, so moving on, these are the basic things we need a proper standardized method. So there was what? A system of classification given, that is called as what? Binomial classification. Okay, so binomial classification was what? It requires two names given. Okay, like for example, my name is Varun Sachan. So Varun Sachan, these are the two names given to me. Okay, same over here. Okay, so what is that? Binomial classification. This system came to give the naming. There are trinomial nomenclature also, which we will study after this. First question would be, who gave it? It was given by Carl Linnaeus, who is known as father of modern botany. It wrote book which highlights lot of the names of the plants. Prior to this, whatever be the names, they were not valid anymore. So all the names after this binomial creatures are the valid one. Now binomial creatures takes what? Two names. What are the two names? Number one is the species. That is called as species epithet. And the second thing is the generic name or the genus. Now, species name is very much particular to the things. Okay, particular to the things means what? That if this species name is this, means it belongs to us. But in the genus, there can be multiple species present. Means for example, Varun Sachan, my name. Now Varun would be me only. Okay, just give an example. Okay, it will be me only. Okay, but Sachan is the caste. Caste will be of multiple people. Like for example, the same Sachan would be the somewhere who is living in the another part of the country or another part of another country. Okay, so this is what? This is the genus. So caste is the genus which could be of multiple people, but species would be singular one. Okay, so example I am giving to you over here. What would be the example? Example is Magnifera indica. This is one name which I am giving to you. Okay, in Magnifera indica, if you see that I am underlining it because there are certain rules of writing it. Okay, so we will learn that thing also. So here, this first thing, this is Magnifera. It is what? It is your genus, where this is your indica is the species. So Magnifera means mangoes related to mango, but mango has lot of varieties. Indica means the Indian variety. Okay, one such variety of it. We have so many varieties of mangoes. Same goes with the dogs, different species, different names to it. So this thing you have to remember. Let's just hop up into the rules of the binomial nomenclatures. So the next thing is the rules. So number one rule is this. It has two names, species and the generic name. Second rule is that when like this name, the name Magnifera indica, it comes from what? This thing will be coming from, the names would be taken from the Italian language. Now the question is, why Italian language? Here there comes a classic case of within our country, India. What happened? Each state is fighting for my language is superior, my language is superior. But it's not like that. Okay, so what happened? So this superiority or inferiority complex do not occur. Scientists took the language which is no more used, means it is a dead language, no one read it. First thing, so that is what Latin language. Second thing, since no one is using it, means it is very standardized. No one will be using it, like no one would be changing it over the period of a time. Means the things which will be here will stay there also. So we're gonna be writing it out. So what is that? That the naming is done in Latin language. So here a assertion reason question can form. Okay, as it is a dead language, so no change can occur. Okay, means if anyone has to give a name of a species, means we have to make it what Latinized version of it. Okay, so this thing is there. Moving on to the next thing, that when we are typing it, okay, so during typing, genus and specific epithet, that is species, should be italicized or should be in italics. Means like this. Okay, so should be italics. But when handwritten, should be underlined separately. Okay, this thing is there. Moving on to the next. Okay, the next one is that the initial, when you are writing the genus, it should be in capital. The first alphabet should be capital, but the species should not be the capital one. Okay, so genus first alphabet must be capital and species should be small. Very important. Okay, they can give you some options in the questions round where they might not be giving the two of them. Okay, moving on, the next thing after this is that sometimes what we have, we even write the name of the author who has identified or discovered this species. Okay, so their name, how we will write it? So their name is written in the abbreviative form and in the Roman letters. Okay, so they are not italics. Okay, so the name of author who documented the species is written in abbreviative form in Romans. So for example, this is your Magnifera Indica and it is discovered by Linus. So we will write it Linn. So this is what Magnifera Indica will be underlined. Lin will not be underlined. There will be full stop for the abbreviative form. I hope you understand this one. Okay, these are the 5 basic things for the nomenclature which you have to remember. Now here we will learn one thing, that is what about the trinomial nomenclature. The trinomial nomenclature has tri means 3 names. Okay, so sometimes what we happen, we write the subspecies name also there. Okay, so for example, like Homo sapiens sapiens, because this is the subspecies of it. Homo sapiens sapiens, which we are the only one left. So like this, 3-name nomenclature, that is trinomial nomenclature. So you will remember it. Okay, so this is what sometime subspecies are also included in the naming. So that becomes what? Trinomial nomenclature. Okay, moving on after the nomenclature. Okay, we are doing the nomenclature, but these are the rules of nomenclature. But who is the authority that is actually giving these rules for different organisms? So for different classifications of organisms, we have a different organizations. Okay, so the next thing is the organizations. Okay, so next we are studying what? Nomenclature organization. Okay, now in this nomenclature organization, what will happen, beta? That for different for botany it is different, for zoology it is different, and other. So we will remember the names. Okay, so first is ICBN, that is what? International Code for, B for botany. Okay, botanical nomenclature. Next is ICZN, that is what? International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. Okay, moving on to the ICBACN. This back word is for the bacteria. Okay, so International Code for Bacterial Nomenclature. Moving on, if there is virus, so we have ICVN, that is International Code for Viral Nomenclature. Moving on, for the cultivated plants, means which we have made it hybridized ones, we have given a different scheme of naming it. So that is what? International Code for International Code for the Nomenclature of Cultivated Plants. Okay, so International Code of Nomenclature for Cultivated Plants. So to remember these nomenclature organizations. Now the other question. For example, we are the scientists. Okay, we are the new researchers. And when we went into a forest, we found out something very new. Okay, and we found when something very new, we took it. So, and we want to give its name because it's our time to give the name. Okay, and our name will be put into it. Okay, so recently every years we are finding a lot of different organisms. So maybe we are able to find the one. Okay, so let's just see that how to do the nomenclature. So we are giving different ranks, and when we are giving different ranks, this category of which help in the doing this whole nomenclature with finding and everything, okay, that is known as taxonomy. Okay, so the next thing is what? The taxonomy. So taxonomy is what? It is the branch deals with classification, identification, and nomenclature of organisms. Okay, so this is taxonomy. It could be a classical taxonomy or a modern taxonomy. Classical taxonomy is basically based on the characters and their features, external morphology, it was more. But the modern taxonomy takes place not just the outer or the outer features or the morphology or characteristics, it also take forward the anatomy, biochemistry, and all of those things. So the taxonomy is divisible into classical or the old taxonomy, and it is a modern taxonomy. The classical taxonomy takes the gross morphological features. Took what? Gross morphological features. Whereas modern taxonomy, it took what? Morphological plus anatomical plus there will be biochemistry. Morphology means what? Outer feature, externally how it looks like. Anatomy means internal features. Biochemistry means chemical. What are the different chemicals of the cell present inside it or inside the body? Okay, so this is what taxonomy. Now this taxonomy has what? 4 different steps. So what are those 4 different steps? Number 1 would be what? It will be identification. 4 steps. So first of all, we will identify. Okay, how we will identify? We will identify that whether it is not first the identification. Back. Number 1 would be characterization. In characterization, what happened? In characterization, we see that okay, this is one organism which has this character. It has 2 legs, 2 eyes, antenna, and all those things, whatever is present on it. Okay, so characterization would be what? Observing gross morphological characters. Once we have done it, the next thing would be identification. Now we will try to identify that with the other organisms that which it looks closely resembles to. If it has 2 eyes, which all the organism has 2 eyes. If it has 4 hands, which all has the 4 hands. If it has an antenna, which has antenna normally has insects, so it will goes into the insects. So identification means it will be what? We will make resemblance with already present organisms and try to get close relation. Once we get that, next would be the classification. Now we will classify that this belongs to this. If it is not belonging to anything, then we will put it into a different new taxa. So we make a different new rank also. So taxa is what? It is a ranking where we are giving it. Whether it belongs to insects, within the insects where it will belong, further where it will belong. Okay, so classification would be done. Okay, so according to hierarchy placed into different ranks or taxa or unit or group, whatever you want to call it. And the last one would be what? Then we will do the nomenclature. The ones, all rules we have already given. That's it. Now, so what are the 4 steps? First of all, we will do the characterization, identification, classification, and the nomenclature. This is all takes place under the taxonomy, which is doing it. And there are what? Nomenclaturing branches which are working under it. Now, there is a broader branch which is taking care of all the taxonomic things. And then it is moving towards what? It is moving towards the evolutionary trends also, that how this thing belongs to these different features together. Like for example, we know that all of the planet Earth, all the organisms comes from a single cell. Okay, from the single cell we all came. But how much resemblance is between me and that other species which is present? For example, I am here. How much resemblance is with the plants? Maybe my DNA will be similar. So DNA will have certain similarities. what percentage it is. So we calculate that also. And this field is even broader than the taxonomic field. Okay, so the taxonomical field along with the evolutionary trends, if we are taking it, then it is called as what? Evolutionary trends means phylogenetic. The word is used, phylogenetic. We call it what? Systematics. So what is the other thing that we have to study? That is systematics. Systematic is what? Is the study which comprises of phylogeneity, that is evolutionary trends. Means study includes or including taxonomy, modern taxonomy of course, plus evolutionary trend. Plus evolutionary trends. For this evolution, there is another word we use in the science, that is phylogenetic trends or phylogeny. Okay, so always remember this thing, systematics. Well, for this video we are holding it over here. Of course I said that we will complete in one videos, but the next topic is little longer, so we will be coming up the videos tomorrow and complete the chapter, as well as we will do certain questions also, which will be of different levels, LOD level 1 and LOD level 2 tomorrow. So read about it. Notes will be sent to you super soon about this whole chapter in a one go. If you like this video, give it a like, share it with your friends and all those 11th class students, the 10th pass students who just about to opt for the biology as their one of the subjects for your 11th. Well, that's all for today's videos. Thank you.